Welcome to Dandy Soap DIY. I have some quick, clever Dollar Tree fall DIYs you're going to love. Let's begin with this Dollar Tree pumpkin and removing the facial features because we're not going to need them. And you are going to love this. We need the base, so let's remove the tinsel from the stem. And we're not going to remove this tinsel from off of this pumpkin to use it as a buffer. So now we have our base. Here we go. One roll of 6-inch mesh is all you're going to need. You'll bring it underneath the plastic there in the rear. I began on the right side because, well, the stem's going that way. Give it one little tie, not necessary for a knot, and we're going to use the notches here on the pumpkin. Now we'll be hooking it in the same location and bringing our mesh forward to the front. Once you hook it around the upper notch, it holds pretty good. So bring it back into the front and down. Now you will need some chenille stems. So one chenille stem, cut it into thirds and get 3 small ones. You'll use those to harness your Deco mesh onto this pumpkin frame. And quickly bring it back to the front, once again using the notches and bringing it forward. Now stick with me here because there's a few things I need to share with you. On this side angle, you're going to have to anchor it. As it goes around this curvature, we're going to need to bring the Deco mesh up the side of the pumpkin frame. So when you bring it back forward and you get over to that right side, you're just going to hook it, harness it with your chenille stem, and once you get that into place, you're going to take the Deco mesh and run it up the side. It has notches on the side as well, so it'll hold to it pretty good. Bring it around in front of the stem, then behind it, and back over to the right side. Once you get it underneath the stem, you're going to bring it back down the front. And that will keep it held there. Now, you need to stick with me for just a moment longer because I got to show you another little trick to overcome the task of the stem. And it's super easy, super simple, and so clever. You can have this pumpkin done in about 30 minutes. That is including the beautiful little messy bow we're going to make. So hold it in place there. Now, there's a hollow spot in the back. If you run the chenille stem from the back to the front, catch the Deco mesh in front, run it back through the hole, and then harness it to the plastic, voila, you can keep it there. And the chenille stem will be covered, so don't worry about the color. And begin again, bringing it forward, hooking it on the bottom notch, and wrapping it up. Voila, we have our pumpkin ready. So I took my needle nose pliers and break off those pieces off of the stem. Be careful not to break it. Use some craft paper, and this will give us a smooth stem. We need this so that we can decorate it properly. The craft paper looks pretty good, but some burlap ribbon looked even better for that real rustic look that we're going for. And it has this beautiful fall appearance. How lovely is that? So finish off the back by putting a little bit of glue around the chenille stems. Trace you out some kind of fabric or liner and glue that to the back of it. That will give it a professional finish. It'll look just like you purchased it retail. Very high end and clever. So let's update our bow. The bow here is a little too small for this project, so we're going to make a more messy bow by adding more ribbon, some raffia, and fluff it up, thicken it up, and make it a little bigger. I cannot tell you how beautiful this looked on a friend of mine's door. She loved it. It was not too big, not too small, and it was just right. Add you a little hanger, and this is just lovely. You can use it year after year, and it's just gorgeous. It's small and quaint. Next, we are going to make these burlap bags. You're going to love this. Dollar Tree had these jack-o'-lantern burlap bags, and I added lights to them for Halloween. You'll see that in another video. But we're going to use a pack and I'm going to show you how to create your very own pumpkins and really truly make these primitive and buff them up. So cut you some 3.5-inch squares of a complementary fabric. I selected this orange and white check. If you put a little snip in it and hand tear it, it will give it that rigid, roughed up fray look. Now grab one of the wooden pumpkins or a pumpkin as a template. I had this printed fabric that I love, the Farm Fresh pumpkins, and I got it from Walmart. So I traced out the wooden cutout. Because of the size of the bag versus the wood cutout, I had to take a pen and make it smaller, and I cut it out with my pinky shears. So this is how we're going to attach it. Get you some Heat and Bond Light and some wax paper. Now I'm going to show you something new. This is a friction ink pen. You can find these at Walmart, Target, different places, but it has a magical effect. So let me show you this. You seen I just wrote on the fabric. It disappears with heat, just like that. Any iron, even the hot glue gun, is hot enough. So watch closely. Disappears just like magic. So back to our Heat and Bond. This is making it available so that anyone can use any fabric, and it only takes 10 seconds for Heat and Bond. So you'll cut it to size, use your iron 10 seconds, and it's going to adhere that Heat and Bond. Now you'll peel the paper off, and this side of the Heat and Bond, we're going to adhere to our complementary fabric. Now we've already got it roughed on the edges to give it that rigid look and texture. And I am going to be cutting some leftover scrap pieces of the Heat and Bond so that we can attach these squares to the burlap bags. How clever is that? Is this a quick and clever craft or what? Add this to your playlist. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, by all means do, and make sure you save this particular video. So we have our squares made, and they are tattered and torn, and the Heat and Bond seal on there is going to keep them from becoming any more roughed or rigid. They will not fray any more beyond it. So I'm going to show you a trick. Take and ink you down some paint. If you don't have it, maybe some ink if you have a stamp pad. Put it on a little cotton swab, a piece of cotton, it doesn't matter, and just go around the outer edges of the pumpkin. This will give it a distressed, but it also will make that pumpkin pop and show off on your fabric. Now remember here, we didn't attach the stem of the pumpkin. Now I always heat set my inking or my paint. We distress this with inky paint. You can use an ink stamp. They had these cupcake picks at Dollar Tree, and they are wooden. So here's your bonus idea. Take your paint marker and color in that sunflower. They do not look good with these burlap bags, but this is something you will use later. So this is how we make these primitive rustic burlap bags. We're going to use a little bit of polyfill and grab pure cinnamon, ground cinnamon, from out of your cabinet in the kitchen. Put you a little polyfill in there. Sprinkle or dash the cinnamon in there, move it around, and keep fluffing with some polyfill. I did add more cinnamon. Now on the outside, take cinnamon powder and rub it on the pumpkin fabric. It, one, gives it that aged look, and number two, smells wonderful. So this is how you make a Bessie bow. You're going to use fabrics of all kinds. I took this strip to tie my bags closed, so it needs to be a little longer. But all the other pieces that you see me gathering here, pieces of ribbon, and I go ahead and dovetail those, lace, fabric, baker's twine, jute twine, burlap string, anything. And this makes a wonderful messy bow. I even have Raffy in here because it's fall and it's suitable. So here's how you make it. You just begin with you a base of a piece of ribbon or fabric and start adding pieces. Just any colors, assortment, it doesn't matter. Whatever makes you happy and content, build it as voluptuous and thick as you like, as messy as you like, or as thin as you prefer. I tried to use complementary fabrics that I used in the project, and that just heightens it that much more, but not overpower it. Just use the colors that will really make them pop. And these things are so adorably cute. What a clever idea. A quick, clever Dollar Tree craft project. Now, I've got my messy bow made, and I actually tied this particular one on with some raffia twine. I do use a dot of glue later on just to make sure that does not come off of the burlap bag, because this goes into my Emporium little booth where I sell some of my DIY projects. Here I am just adding some chiseled edges to the ribbon. Those little picks, if you wiggle that toothpick, it will come out. And take and glue it directly to the baker's twine string or jute twine, and you have some little charms. And voila, here we go. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead, join Dandy Soap DIY. I'd love to have you. Now, I found this canister at Dollar General, and I loved the photo. So this is another project we have a video on, and I'll put the link in the description box down below as well as above. You want to cut your fabric to letter size 8.5 by 11. Now I'm going to introduce you to a product here called Terial Magic. This is a liquid stabilizer, and there's more about this, but it is unique because it allows you to be able to print directly on fabric with your inkjet printer. So for those of you with no cutting machine or don't want to deal with vinyl and would like to use fabric, this is a way that the ink will print on your fabric and you don't have to buy anything unique or special. You'll find the affiliate link down below. Make sure that you iron it while it's damp on cotton, because this is muslin. And we want to remove any little threads or strings that's hanging on the edge. Select whatever print you want in color and print it out with your inkjet printer, because now it will go through the printer. So here are some hand-painted wooden utensils. I got these at Dollar Tree, and I'm using my paint markers. Now remember, the previous project, there will be more in a video. You'll see the link down below and one upcoming. But I wanted to share with you because this was a gift for my daughter for her birthday. And it was suitable for year-round, and they're usable. So using your paint markers, paint you a design. But my idea was you could put pumpkins on this, you could put orange and white stripes, anything for fall, or you could do it for spring, summer, or this Christmas coming up. This will give you some gift ideas for what you can make really quick, and you can paint these up in about 30 minutes. But I have something clever to share with you on this particular DIY project. If you're liking this video, give it a thumbs up. I certainly appreciate it. And be sure to save it to your playlist. You can click on the plus button underneath this video and create your own playlist so you can get back to this video anytime you like and add other projects that you enjoy. Now, I did one in red and white and one in blue and white because I have two daughters and Christmas is coming up. So the red and white will go to the younger daughter and the blue and white goes to the one with the birthday. Now, I'm making another type of messy bow. This is one where you can utilize your leftover muslin from the previous project and some of the complementary ribbons that we have, baker's twine, and seriously dress it up and make it gorgeous. And you can make a very small little messy bow. This is leftover onion bag mesh, and this is just some string. And I have my little bowl there that I keep all my little strings and stuff in, and I keep it gathered, and this is what I use it for. So once again, you'll stack them all kinds of ways, different assortments, pieces of fabric or ribbon or string, whatever you have. Get you some jute twine, and that will be your tie to tie all together. So stick around, because upcoming is that next clever, genius idea, and you are really going to love it. Okay, so we got it tied together. Here we go. We are going to use ponytail holders. Yes, we are. And tie that on with the jute twine. Tie it real good. I always do 3 knots or 3 ties. And now you can put that ponytail holder on those wooden spoons, and voila. How clever is that? This is a gotta do, add to your list. And you can have this craft made in about 30 minutes. Great last minute gift. And of course, I had to do the red and white one too. I know you enjoyed this video, and do join Dandy Soap DIY by subscribing. The likes really help my channel go with YouTube. Until the next DIY, this is Elizabeth. I'll be crafting y'all. Bye.